Our Nintendo Direct last week to BlizzCon, and now with the Sony State of Play, it seems like there's quite a few games to look forward to over the coming months. And I know a few of my personal favorites so far have been Diablo 2 Resurrection, the Burning Crusade Classic coming back for World of Warcraft, and then Project Triangle Strategy, which I'll be keeping a close eye on as we go forward. And today was Sony's State of Play only just a few hours ago. And I want to take some time and dive into what they talked about and just kind of give my thoughts on how I feel about the next few months for the PS5 and what PlayStation has going on for it in general. And honestly, I've got to say, I'm not super impressed by the State of Play. I was really hoping for something a bit bigger to start the show off with, or even to end the show. I didn't really feel like we had a super big reveal that was really crazy, and not even that, but just some gameplay for some of the bigger game titles like Ratchet and Clank. Sony led off with Crash Bandicoot's PS5 Remaster. Remaster is probably not even the right word for it. It's just kind of a upgraded version to the PS5, and it's getting a lot of really welcomed improvements as far as gameplay goes. We're going to be having 4K and 60 frames per second, as well as the DualSense controller getting worked into the game. And if you haven't had the chance to really messed with a DualSense controller so far, it's really cool. The rumble feature that's kind of been changed from PS4 to PS5 into haptic feedback, and your adaptive triggers are really defining, in my opinion, for what the PS5's gameplay is going to be like for a lot of future titles. And it really helps immerse you by giving you different tension levels and really helping out with a lot of that stuff. But starting off for the PS5, I felt like we had some really solid lineup titles. And with Demon's Souls and Miles Morales kind of being on the shelves for a few months now, I feel like most people are probably running out of stuff to play. And Crash Remastered really just kind of isn't a unit mover, in my opinion. It's pretty cool, but I can still play it on my PS4. And as we kind of went on from there, we talked about Deathloop some more, which we've seen a lot of Deathloop up to this point. The game looks really cool. It's got a loop where, as the name suggests, you pretty much just return from death. So you go through the game, you die, you return, you continue on. I think a lot's been shown on that over the last little bit here, and it's coming out in May of 2021. One game that I have been kind of excited for that looks pretty cool that I've followed a lot here lately is Returnal. It kind of looks like a mix of Risk of Rain and Dead Space, all with that roguelike kind of element to it, and it's coming in April 30th. It looks like a lot of fun. The game looks really cool from the different weapon types you can do and the switching, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of things carry over with your roguelike elements to the game. And we also had Oddworld Soulstorm, which was another game that's been shown already, but we did get a pretty cool announcement with it saying that we would be getting it for free for PlayStation Plus owners on April 6, 2021. The game looks really good. It's kind of an interesting title so far. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Pikmin with the way he's controlling it, but there's a lot of different things going on there as far as all these little Oddworld guys getting killed and everything. And we got Knockout City too. Knockout City looks like a lot of fun. It's kind of falling in these veins of games like Rocket League and Destruction All-Stars for me, but Knockout City was already shown a little bit at the Nintendo showcase not too long ago, but it does look like a lot of fun. It looks like souped up dodgeball to a whole new degree with some team play to it. The game looks pretty polished. It looks pretty gorgeous. I think it'll be a lot of fun when it comes out in May 21st of this year. And then we did get some gameplay for the first time of Five Nights at Freddy's I personally haven't played a lot of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I've heard a lot about them. I've watched a lot of them. They look super spooky. They're pretty cool games from what I've seen to watch. And the new Five Nights at Freddy does look really cool to play. It looks like it has a release date of 2021, so we don't really have a specific kind of window down at this point. But I am really excited to see more of it and kind of get my hands on it. And then we had Sifu, which was made by Absolver Studio, and every time you die, you get a little bit older and become a little bit more of a kung fu master. And the combat kind of looks similar to what we saw from Absolver, and was pretty fun looking. But that's kind of been, I want to say, most of the games so far. A lot of them have been really decent looking games, but none of them really blew me away with what I saw. Mainly like a lot of platformers, a lot of indie looking games, and Solar Ash was another one of those that kind of came along that was made by Heart Machine, which is the developer of Hyperlight Drifter. And the game looks beautiful. The breathtaking visuals, the movement looks really cool. The combat looked pretty fluid as far as everything goes. I would like to see a little bit more gameplay of it as we kind of move forward here, and it does have another release date of 2021. The biggest two, I want to say, reveals for everything, and they weren't really even reveals, they were just more of gameplay that was shown off for games that were kind of already announced, already out there. For me, it was Kenna and the Bridge of Spirits and Final Fantasy Intergrade. Kenna was probably, to me, the most gorgeous looking game of the showcase. It has a really cool concept for being a spirit guardian, and you get these growing teams of tiny spirit companions called the Rot, and it's kind of an action adventure platformer style game that looks really cool, and I'm really looking forward to playing it as it comes out and seeing a little bit more on it as we dive a little bit deeper. I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more gameplay, but the release date isn't too far away. It's August 24th, so about 6 months, so we probably will see a little bit more on it, but the game does look super gorgeous, and the combat that they showed off looked like a lot of fun as well. And kind of talking about the last game we mentioned there, Final Fantasy Intergrade, which looks to be a addition to Final Fantasy VII Remake. You're getting a chapter with Yuffie, which I'm sure everybody who is a Final Fantasy VII fan is super excited for. I'm excited to see more Final Fantasy VII Remake content, and because the gameplay is a lot of fun. It's the best combat system, I think, of any of the Final Fantasy games I've played, and most for the JRPGs that I played too. The combat in that game was super involved and active, and you always just kind of felt like you were doing something, but it felt like the natural next step to a lot of your RPG games. And of course, along with that, they did announce that you would be getting a free PS5 upgrade to your Final Fantasy VII Remake that is going to redo the graphics and the lighting and the frames, as well as load times, which is going to be super, super nice for the game. So the Intergrade is supposed to be coming out on June 10th, and you have to have the PS5 version to get the chapter to play Yuffie, which you will have to purchase, it does look like. But all in all, for the state of play, the story to me kind of seems like there's a lot of games that look interesting, and like I said, they look cool and they look fun, but nothing really just blows me away. Nothing really seems to be a console seller in that kind of next 6 months as far as the games that we saw today go. A lot of games I think are welcome additions, and I think they'll give people something to kind of tide them over and something to play, but I really hope soon we get to see some more of the big titles, like maybe some God of War, the new Final Fantasy that they've announced, more Ratchet and Clank. I would love to see some more Ratchet and Clank, and even your Horizon Zero Dawn's sequel that is coming out too. So, but with that, guys, that's everything regarding your state of play kind of wrapped up in a short little video for you guys. Tell me, what did you guys think? Did you guys think that the state of play disappointed you guys? Were you excited for it? And what was some of your favorite stuff? And what are you most excited about for the PS5 going forward in the future? And as always, guys, if you like the content and you like seeing this stuff, let me know in the comments below. And please do like and subscribe. It really helps us out. It goes a long way. And I will talk to you guys next time.